Hello everyone, I'm Will, this is Joe, and we are the OPBITPROJ project team. Our client's name is Chris Dick. He works as a chef at the Custom House. The project that we're building for him is a food waste minimization system, and it's tailored specifically towards halls of residences. The system will allow the students attending halls of residences to view upcoming meal events, choose the food items at these events, and indicate whether or not they'll be attending. And all of this report data will be then sent to the staff side of the system, where the staff can then generate a summarized report, and then based on the student data, and then they can adjust the proportion sizes accordingly with the data. With the meal budget being at $3.40, this actually results in a lot of money saved. Halls of residences waste an average of upwards of $30K per year on food wastage, 30,000. So based on the food wastage and the money saved, we'll be able to prove the value of that system.
Okay, so we've got the actual functionality of the server and the front end. They all work. The front end's quite fragmented at the moment. So it all works, it's just in different places. The server, you don't need to be logged in to change things on it at the moment. We've changed that this week, so you do actually have to be logged in. Our risks, confidence in coding. I'm sort of still learning JavaScript. It's a bit weird, some bits of it, some of the things that I want to do. And finding a location to test it. Our client has a location to test it at, but the timing might not be good for our project. It could be a bit late or earlier than we expected. He's still working out the timing on it.
Our delivery plan involves seeding the database, starting the server application, giving Chris all the information needed to log into the server, and also giving him the web address of the server so that he can deploy it at his own event. We've already got, we've sort of already looked at setting up a meal event where he's going to bring in 50 people, and he's going to make them pretty much use our system to order their food at his restaurant. And he'll be doing all the cooking at the back, and he'll be viewing the admin side and viewing the report data as it comes in. And based on the food wastage prevented at the event, we can then show the value of our system.
How are you going to deal with the timing? Because if somebody says an hour before the meal, I'm not going to have a meal today, that's a bit late, really.
The person that used the application to indicate what they want for a meal, the front-end application won't let them if they're too late or they're after the deadline that they have to indicate.
But they're still not going to turn up.
If they don't turn up, then it reports that and that's put on the report.
I've actually talked. The landlord of my property is actually in charge of sending the food to halls of residences, and I discussed the food problem with them. Students making last-minute decisions, and he said about a 12-hour cutoff should be in place because the food needs to be fresh. So the food needs to come in within 12 hours of their choices. So we're just going to have a little cutoff date in place, and if they click to add food items or set their preferences, we're just going to tell them that they're too late.
Yeah. So basically that means that a meal is going to be done by 6 AM, which means the night before, because not many students are home at 5:30. So how are you going to make students go to the on then the night before saying what they want the next night?
Halls of residences operate on a 6-week cycle, so the staff know exactly what they'll be serving several weeks in advance on that day, so they can actually just show all the students about a week in advance what they'll be serving at every single event of every day of the week.
Yeah.
But we don't think that students will be making their meal preferences up 4 days in advance, so probably just show them the next 3 or 4 days in front, and they can just choose from those events whenever they decide.
And there's still seems to be an issue. Like, I've got a visit, we get with it, we got that, and suddenly you're like, we're doing a courteous act. Or it's not courteous act.
So if you don't indicate, then it comes up as that you have not indicated on the report.
Yeah.
Or this many people haven't
You
indicated.
still got a baby because you're a whole business.
Yeah. So if you haven't indicated, the whole residence takes whatever action they feel is appropriate. If they feel that it is not giving you any food, then if they feel that it is recorded as you get this amount of food allocated regardless. So if you don't indicate you get this amount of food, then it's entirely their decision. We can only supply them the data, not
Well, but I mean, they've got requirements too. They can't just be like, well, you didn't indicate, so he has to, drive red.
They do penalty things. They'll fine you $5 for wearing a hat to kneel at St. Margaret's. I mean, they have ways of, they do.
So will your program there have a default menu choice?
Yes, I didn't actually explain that when I first started out. They, by default, all the residents will serve every single student a meal of at least $3.40 worth. So basically every single food item that is served is going to have enough to accommodate 500 students or whatever, which is where the food wastage comes in, because regardless of whether or not a student shows up, there's already a meal prepared for them.
Yeah.
So by default, if they don't say whether or not they'll be attending, there's going to be a meal there, $3.40 regardless. But the whole point in the app is to say what you don't want. So if you're not going to be attending, there's $3.40 worth of a meal not going to be cooked in the first place.
So instead of opting into food, you opt out.
Yeah.
no, it's like a more specific selection. Instead of the default everything, you can go in and narrow it down if you want to, or you can just leave it and you'll get everything.
That seems to be a bigger problem for me. So they're like, okay, they said do want chicken from the bed.
Yeah.
If I say nothing, then they go, well, screw you, chicken. Whether you want it or not. And okay, that's a solution to that problem, I guess. It means there's going to be some people policing that too, because are they going to check everybody's idea and do it and say, well, okay, you all got the chicken, here you go, which seems in fact cool at 500. But more importantly, it doesn't actually resolve the problem, because if it's, well, when you've got this question on assignment, I said, and that is, how are you going to make me go to the effort of going to an app on my phone to say that I don't want something? There's no incentive to me to say that I don't want it. There's no benefit.
There could be if they met some kind of target, like say we saved $3,000, so we go to the next state or something.
We've already been looking at incentives such as goals that students can work towards. Perhaps they save $3,000 within a month or so, and they can throw a party or something.
Token parties.
Yeah. Also, tokens. Maybe a token system. Perhaps they earn tokens for using the application. I was looking at Duolingo. They have a streak for using the app. Perhaps installs a streak system where if they use the app several times in a row, they can get, say, a free coffee or something like that. But at the moment, we're just trying to prove the value of the system. We don't have an incentive in place at the moment.
I think without the incentive, the system is nobody's going to go to the effort of saying they might be in the meal.
Yeah.
St. Mark's might be different. Also, isn't normal people.
But I think if we make an incentive on the system, then it can, wherever it's implemented at, it might not be a good thing for the
So the
team to do.
incentive doesn't need to be a physical thing, it can just be points system, look at games you do on your phone, there's 60 different stupid games I've got now, just trying to get meaningless points on them. Why not have meaningless points on your app too, which, they don't necessarily mean anything, but you get points, but you've cheated them 15 days in a row, you get a point. And a badge, whatever, it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't cost anything. And they work sort of globally, like, they work at every whole reason, whether or not they want to work at party or state, like, it doesn't work.
Well,
sometimes we see that they're not very strong.
It it does sort of increase the scope a little bit. Not too hard to implement like a system like that, but the client that we have, he is trying to prove his point that if the system was in place and it was used, regardless of whether or not there's an incentive there, that there is a reduction in food wastage. So we're pretty much just trying to set up an event where students have to use the app and make a calculation based on that, without an incentive in place.
I think if we prove that point, though, when we know if that was working at Irishman, if this app was working, they would produce the experiment. You know, that's it's just back here and the to do when you can prove that what you need for food is that your method, whether it's an app or whether it's a bit of paper, that you know each line is a bit of paper with the next day menu on it and I tick something.
Yeah.
That is going to actually be followed, because if you only get 5% of what it is that's using it, then it's not used at all. If you're 95% using it, then it's probably useful.
Yeah.
So I think we can prove something like that.
5% would still be a huge reduction.
Well, no, because
5% of 30,000 is actually still quite a bit.
yeah, but would you actually say that like, it's not necessarily fun way to get point?
Yeah.
If you get 5% using it on a per night basis, but those 5 are all those choosing people at chicken, and then they're choosing out, then your actual saving is 0. If it's the same 5% using it every night, and those do happen to be the people who go to McDonald's and fish night, then it could be more than 5% of the total.
Yeah.
But if it's the 5% who never go to McDonald's, they're always there for a meal, then your saving could be closer to 0. So,
we had that push on.
Yeah.
All day. We're using up the end of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks.